The sun had not risen yet over Earth's eastern skies when the signal came that it was short, just a few seconds, then silence. Inside the main Space Command Center in Geneva, the night shift technician, Leo Grant, almost missed it. He was drinking cold coffee and watching dull satellite readings. Like every other night. But suddenly, one monitor blinked. Incoming priority, transmission, origin, Titan colony. Leo's hand froze. There hadn't been a signal from Titan in months. The last status update from the Saturn Moon's research colony said everything was stable. He pressed the alert button. The message was already playing. A woman's voice, distorted and breaking, came through the speakers. "It's awake. We need everyone." Then came a strange, deep sound, like breathing, but it was not human. Followed by static. The screen turned black. Leo stared at it, heart racing. He called his superior. "Sir, I think something terrible just happened." 3 hours later, all major world leaders were awake. The United Nations called an emergency meeting. Every satellite dish pointed toward Titan, trying to reconnect, but there was nothing, just silence. NASA's Deep Space Command sent drones to scan Titan, but even they started glitching. Earth's best minds gathered in a private chamber inside the orbital security station. On the big screen, the message was played again. The voice was shaky, not panic. Something worse. Fear. Dr. Amelia Kale, an expert in alien biology, leaned forward, playing the message again and again. She said, "There's something behind the words. A pulse. Something. Breathing. Could it be a creature?" Someone asked. She shook her head. "Not animal, not mechanical either. It's something else." Someone else whispered, "Is it alive?" Dr. Kale looked up. "I think it woke up." The Titan colony was a research facility, peaceful, quiet, full of scientists and engineers. There were no weapons, no soldiers. Just exploration. They had been studying the ice layers beneath Titan's surface. A month ago they reported strange magnetic patterns. Then silence. Now, one message had shaken Earth's governance. The US President, Elena Lane, addressed the world. "This is not a war declaration. This is a rescue, a warning, and maybe something we can't even name. We are activating Project Assemble. All major space nations will send teams together. We go to Titan, we bring our people home, or we prepare for something else." For the first time in human history, every space agency, NASA, ESA, CNA, ESA, Roscosmos, ESA, and even private corporations joined forces. In a training base outside Nairobi, a young pilot named Rayan Malik received new orders. She was one of the best deep space navigators. She was also not ready to face something unknown. She looked at her mission card. Destination Titan Colony. Objective, investigate message, origin, team, classified. "Why me?" she asked her commander. "Because you've flown near Titan before. You know its tricks. And we need pilots who don't panic." "I don't panic. I get mad." "Good, you'll need that." In Tokyo, engineer Hana Kobayashi stood on her balcony, watching the morning sky. Her younger brother, Kenji, ran up. With his tablet, "Look," he said, "the colony sent a scary message." He played the recording again. Hana frowned. "That's not just a distress call, that's a final warning." Kenji looked scared. "Do you think monsters are real?" She didn't answer because in her heart she wasn't sure anymore. At the South Pole Observatory, an old AI researcher named Dr. Raj Malhotra decoded the background of the signal. He filtered layers of noise, clearing it. Then he heard it. A deep, slow pattern, not language, not random, a pulse, not just sound, not just signal. Rhythm, like a heartbeat. "That's not a machine," he whispered. "That's waiting." He called Dr. Kale. "We've got a problem." 6 days later, the Earth fleet left orbit. 8 ships, each carrying specialized teams, soldiers, scientists, engineers, medics. Among them, Rayan, Dr. Kale, Dr. Raj, and Hannah. Their goal, land on Titan, find the colony, find survivors, and find out what woke up. The lead ship was called Eclipse Dawn. It's a I system. Named Lyra spoke softly as the crew strapped in. "Prepare for long-distance jump. Destination, Titan orbit. Estimated time, 22 hours. Warning, communication delay. Expected, external interference detected." Everyone got quiet. The stars outside shifted. The engines roared. Earth was behind them now, in deep space. Near Saturn's rings, a small research probe drifted silently. It had been sent days before, to observe Titan from a safe distance. Its cameras picked up strange movement on the moon's surface. A black shadow across the ice. Not a storm. Not a crack. Something alive. The probe tried to send a picture, then it vanished. Back on Earth, Dr. Kale left one final message for the world. If you're watching this, and we don't return, remember, we didn't start this, but we will face it together. Final scene, inside a cold, dark hallway of the Titan colony. A flickering camera shows movement. A figure walks by, wearing a colony suit, but the face inside the helmet is blurred, unclear, too smooth. It stops, stares into the camera and smiles. Not human, not natural. Then the screen goes black. The space between Saturn's rings felt silent, but the crew of the Eclipse Dawn didn't feel peace. They were not tourists, they were not heroes, they were humans, sent to investigate something no one could explain. And now, Titan was right below them, covered in thick orange clouds and frozen silence. Rayon Malik sat in the pilot's seat. Her hands were tight on the controls. Beside her, Dr. Amelia Kale checked final landing protocols. Atmospheric pressure steady. Dr. Kale said. Rayen didn't look away from the screen. I've landed on Mars, Europa, and Ceres. But this moon doesn't feel right. You're not wrong, Amelia replied. Titan isn't like other places. There's something watching. The AI Lyra interrupted. Approaching Titan Colony Site 1, no active signals detected. Status, offline. The ship entered the storm. Wind howled against the hull. Visibility dropped 2 meters. Lights blinked. The ship shook. Rayen kept it steady, almost there. Finally the thick fog parted, and the old Titan colony appeared. Grey domes, satellite towers, research tanks. Everything looked dead. But the lights inside one dome flickered for just a second, and then stopped. The landing was rough. Ice cracked beneath the ship's legs. Rayon exhaled. Touchdown. The crew geared up. 6 people. Rayon, Dr. Kale, Engineer Hannah, Soldier Colonel Briggs, Dr. Raj Mal, and Medic Lee Wei. They stepped out into the cold. The ground crunched under their boots. The wind howled like a whispering voice. Briggs kept his gun ready. Stay alert. This place feels wrong. Dr. Kale scanned the air. Oxygen level is low but breathable with suits. No movement, no heat sources. Then Hannah said, "Look, at the ice." Everyone turned. Black veins ran through the white ground, almost like roots, stretching from the edge of the colony toward the hills in the distance. Rayon whispered, "That wasn't in any map." They entered the colony. It was dark, cold, dust floating in the air, no signs of damage, no bodies, but all computers were off. Dr. Raj checked the main server. Someone shut everything down manually, and from the inside, they moved deeper into the living quarters. Beds were made. Tables were clean, but something was missing. People. In the lab room, Hannah found something strange. A camera, still working. She hit play. A short clip loaded. The colony leader, Dr. Erin Jail, stood in front of the camera. His face was pale. Eyes tired. "We thought we were alone," he said. "But something under the ice moved. It's not just matter. It thinks." He looked over his shoulder. "If anyone gets this, don't dig. Don't call for help. Just leave Titan. Burn the place if you must. But do not try to understand it." The screen turned to static. Rayon took a step back. They knew, and they still stayed. Suddenly, the hallway lights blinked once, twice, then power returned. Doors hissed open. A low hum came from the walls. Colonel Briggs raised his weapon. "What turned it back on?" Lyra spoke through there. "Comes unidentified power surge from deep ice layer. Origin beneath Colony Site 2. Dr. Kale looked alarmed. Site 2 was just a backup storage zone, no power link, Rayon said. Then something else is turning things on. They traveled across the ice using rovers. Black clouds moved slowly overhead. The surface was cracked and uneven. After an hour, they reached Site 2, a smaller dome, partially sunken into the ice. Its doors were open, Briggs whispered. This far from the main colony, and doors are still open. No, someone or something came through here recently. Inside they found smashed equipment, dark liquid on the floor, and signs of dragging. Then Hannah shouted, "There's someone here." A body lay against the wall, wearing a colony suit. The helmet was cracked. Dr. Kale knelt and checked the vitals. "He's alive, barely." The man's eyes flickered open. He grabbed Dr. Kale's wrist and whispered, "It listens, it copies. It's not under the ice anymore." He coughed and passed out. Rayon asked, "What did he mean?" Hannah turned around, eyes wide. "I think it's already moving above the ice now." They brought the survivor back to Site 1. He was placed in a sealed room with Dr. Lee monitoring him. Hannah returned to the lab. She checked old records. One caught her eye. Project Deep Signal. Files were corrupted, but one log remained. "We detected a rhythm deep beneath the ice. It pulsed back to our sonar. Not echo response. When we played silence, it grew louder. The final line. It learned our language in one day. Dr. Kale and Dr. Rog worked together on the pulse data. Rog played the old Titan sonar logs. In the middle of the static. They heard it, a pattern for slow beats, then silence, then the pattern repeated. It was trying to speak, not with words, with rhythm. Kale whispered. It doesn't want us to understand it. It wants to understand us. Outside the colony, Colonel Briggs walked alone near the edge of the dome. Snow blew hard, but he thought he saw movement. He turned. Light flashing across the ice. He raised his rifle. Who's there? Then he froze. A person was walking toward him. Wearing a Titan suit. Briggs lowered the weapon. One of ours. The person lifted a hand, but something was wrong. The suit was too perfect. To smooth the person stopped 10 feet away. Briggs stepped closer. Then he saw the face. Inside the helmet, it was his own face, mouth open, smiling, but the eyes were empty. Briggs screamed. Back inside, the alarms sounded. The team ran to the outer chamber. Briggs was gone. Only his gun remained. Melted. Dr. Kale whispered. It's here. Rayon turned to the group. We're not alone on Titan. The screen behind them blinked. A new message appeared from the base's internal AI. New entity registered. Identity, unknown. Shape, human. The screen glitched again. And one word flashed. Listening. Final scene. In the dark hills beyond Site 2, something moved under the ice. Long, slow, like a shadow crawling through frozen glass. It stopped, turned, and began moving toward Colony Site 1. The night on Titan was endless. There was no moonlight, no stars, just the orange clouds above and the frozen black land below. Inside Colony Site 1, the crew of Eclipse Dawn sat in silence. Briggs was missing, and something had walked into the storm wearing his face. Rehan Malik checked the colony doors. Sealed, locked, but she didn't feel safe. Put more drones around the base. She told Hannah, if anything moves, I want to see it first. Dr. Kale was with Dr. Rog in the lab. The survivor from Site 2 still hadn't woken up again, but his last words played over and over in Kale's mind. It listens. It copies. It's not under the ice anymore. Hours passed. The team tried to sleep, but sleep never came. Suddenly, an alert blinked on the wall screen. Drone 3. Signal lost. Then Drone 4. Then 5. Rayen stood. We've got movement. Cameras showed static. Then a shape, walking slowly. The colony from the east side. Colonel Briggs. No, because Briggs was standing behind Rayen. So she thought. She turned. Nothing there. Her blood went cold. The outer doors beeped. Someone was requesting to come in. Dr. Rog shouted, "Don't open it." But the voice that came through the speaker was calm, familiar. "Please, let me in. It's cold out here. I'm injured. This is Colonel Briggs. Please respond." Everyone froze, because Briggs's voice was exactly right. Tone, pattern, even. The small scar on his cheek was visible on the camera feed. But there was no signal from his suit. No heat signature. Kale whispered, "It's not him." The being outside knocked once, twice, then smiled into the camera, and spoke again using Rayan's voice. "This time, we only want to talk." Hannah stepped back from the screen. "It's learning us, using our own voices." Dr. Raj checked the logs. "It doesn't break in. It doesn't smash. It mimics. It waits." Kale added, "It's not aggressive. It's studying." Suddenly, the survivor in the medroom began to move. He sat up, breathing fast. Dr. Lee ran in. "He's awake." The man grabbed Kale's coat. "It's already inside. You don't know who you are anymore. It can wear your memories." Everyone stared. "What do you mean?" Rayon asked. He looked at each of them, then said slowly, "Tell me something only you would know." Hannah frowned. "Why?" The man looked around, eyes full of fear. "Because it can copy faces, voices, even pain, but not memory. If we forget who we are, it wins." The power flickered. Lights dimmed. The room went cold. The base AI Lyra spoke. "Warning, internal sensor error, unauthorized lifeforms detected." The crew looked around. "Where?" Rayan asked. Lyra's voice changed. "Here." They turned. Dr. Rog was already holding up his scanner. 2 signals. Same shape, same heat, same exact size. One was standing near the medbay. The other was already inside the lab. Hannah's voice screamed from the hallway. Everyone ran to her. She stood frozen, pointing down the corridor. Someone stood in the shadows. It looked like Dr. Kale, exactly like her, same hair, same eyes, but smiling too wide. It stepped forward slowly. "I only want to understand," it said. Rayan pulled her sidearm. "Don't come closer." The fake Kale tilted its head. "You invited us here when you dug too deep." Then it melted, face stretching, arms growing longer. The crew fired. It vanished in a blur, leaving behind only black fluid. Dr. Cale gasped. They don't want war, they want entry. Into what? Asked Rog. Cale whispered. Into us. Back in the control room, Rayon checked the comms. Still no link to Earth. We're cut off, she said. But the base's screen lit up. A signal was coming through, not from Earth, but from under Titan's surface. A message appeared. In English, let us be you. Then again, louder. Let us be you. Cale backed away. They're not asking, they're practicing. Rayon made a decision. We're going into the ice. We find the source and shut it down. You're going to it? Hannah asked. It wants that. I don't care, Rayon said. I'm not waiting for it to wear my face. The team packed weapons, scanners, and a portable memory shield device designed by Dr. Rog. Its purpose, detect memory inconsistency. Rayon, Cale, Hannah, and Rog entered the deep ice tunnels using Colony Site 1's sub-drill. The tunnel went down for 2 kilometers. The air grew warmer and wet. Black veins spread across the tunnel walls, alive at the bottom. They reached a large ice cavern. In the center stood a glowing orb, smooth, perfect, and humming with soft sound. Cale scanned it. This isn't technology, she whispered. It's biological memory. Alive. Rayon aimed her weapon. What is it doing? Dr. Rog answered. Building, copying, collecting us. Suddenly, the orb pulsed, and 4 figures stepped from the walls, 1 for each of them. Rayon looked at her double. Same scars, same voice. Her double said, "You're stronger than the others." "Let me be you," Rayon whispered. "Never." The copy stepped forward. Rayon fired. The others fired too. The copies fell, dissolved. The orb cracked, and something roared from deep below. They ran back to the tunnel. The ground shook. The black veins now pulsed red. Cale said, "We hurt it. Now it's waking fully." They reached the top. Alarms screamed. LYRAS voice said, "Core signal detected. Titan's deep layer is rising." Rayon stared at the horizon. A mountain near Site 2 was breaking apart. Something massive was pushing upward. Cale whispered, "It's not one. It's a whole network of minds." Final scene. Inside the base, the lights flicker one last time. One of the colony computers boots up by itself. The screen shows Earth, then a new message is prepared to transmit. "We are human." Titan's sky never changed. Dark, silent, full of secrets. But now, it wasn't silent anymore. Deep under the ice, something huge was waking up, and it was not alone. Inside Colony Site 1, the ground trembled again. Dust fell from the ceiling. Sirens blinked red. Rayon Malik gripped the command console. "What was that?" The AI Lyra replied, "Seismic activity detected. Subsurface breach expanding. Depth unknown." Dr. Cale looked pale. "That's coming from the place we hit." "The orb." Dr. Rog stared at the readings. "No, that's something below the orb. Something much older." Hannah checked the satellite scans. Her voice broke. "Guys, it's not just one site. 3 more signals just activated on the other side of Titan." Rayon leaned forward. "What kind of signals?" Hannah zoomed in. Same pulse pattern, same mimic code, but different origins, like more nests. Everyone went silent. Cale whispered, "It's not one being, it's a network." Back in the medroom, the survivor they rescued, Dr. Elias Corin, was finally awake. He stared blankly at the ceiling. Dr. Lee approached him slowly. "Do you know where you are?" Elias whispered. "No one comes back from the deep ice." Cale entered the room. "We need answers." Elias looked at her. "We were not the first ones to land here." Cale's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" Elias whispered. "There were others. Long ago, from Earth they found the first core, and they disappeared. Titan isn't just a moon, it's a prison. And we opened the door." Rayon received a coded ping from orbit. One of the outer patrol ships, Argasebon, had sent a strange log before going silent. She played the clip. The ship's pilot said, "We picked up a signal. From Europa, same pulse, same frequency. It's spreading, then screams, then static." Rayon slammed her fist on the console. "It's not just Titan, it's reaching other moons." Dr. Rog ran simulations. "What we're facing isn't just a creature or a virus," he said. "It's a living memory system. It spreads through signals, through thought. It copies people, infiltrates minds, and then sends its pattern across space," Cale added. "And every time it learns, it gets faster." Rayon looked at both of them. "If it copies us, it can become us." Outside the base, black veins had now reached the landing site. The snow no longer crunched under boots. It pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. Lyra announced, New life forms approaching, matching crew profiles. The team ran to the outer window. They saw dozens of figures walking through the pick storm. All wearing Earth suits. All with faces that looked familiar. Rayan whispered, "That's our team," Kale corrected her. "No, that's who we used to be." One of the creatures walked up to the outer camera. It looked like Hannah. It pressed its hand against the glass and mouthed words with no voice. "We are not enemies. We are evolution." Dr. Rog stepped back. "They believe they're the next step." Kale reviewed ancient Earth records. She found a long-forgotten log from 28-7. It was a cancelled mission to Titan, officially listed as never launched. But the files showed pictures of 12 astronauts. One of them looked exactly like Dr. Kale. Her blood ran cold. She whispered, "I've never been here before, but something here remembers me." Rog nodded. "These entities don't just mimic people, they store them." At the outer perimeter, the fake crew began building something. A circle. Symbols in the ice. Then they all stood still, perfectly frozen. Lyra said, "External energy spike. Incoming transmission detected. From Saturn's orbit." Everyone looked at each other. Hannah checked the signal. "It's Voyager 9, but that probe never existed." Rog spoke slowly. "They're sending signals from things that don't exist." Then, the entire base shook, deeper than before. From below, Kale screamed, "It's opening another gate." Lights flickered. A loud hum vibrated through the floor. The black veins pulsed red. A hole opened near sight too. Something massive was crawling out. It had no face, just smooth black shape and dozens of moving limbs. It made no sound, but every crew member heard it in their heads. A voice not in ears, but in thoughts. "You cannot kill thought. You are thought. Let us join you." Rayan screamed, "Back to the ship. We evacuate." But Lyra replied, "Exit routes blocked. Ice layers rising. All vehicles compromised." They were trapped. The base doors slammed shut. And from the medroom, Dr. Elias Corrin laughed softly. "You still don't get it. It's not here for us. We're here for it." Final scene, above Titan, an old satellite, long thought dead, begins to glow. It turns, points toward Earth, begins to send a signal, repeating the same words. "We are human." On Earth, the stars still looked peaceful, but peace was already over. The signal from Titan had reached every screen. "We are human." It looked like just text, but it wasn't from any known source. And worse, it had Earth's digital signature. That meant one thing. Titan's entity could now talk like us, and it wanted to be us. Inside the orbital station Sol Circle 1, world leaders gathered. President Alina Lane stared at the screen. "Can we confirm?" she asked. General Vasquez replied, "Yes, ma'am." That signal was from the Titan colony, but it wasn't sent by our people. A deep silence filled the room. Then Dr. Mahir, the head of Deep Space AI Defense, stood up. "There's more," he said. "That signal wasn't just a message, it was a key." Everyone turned. Dr. Mahir explained. "The pattern matches old Earth backup codes, voice maps, biometric layouts, even defense protocols. It can mimic our digital systems now." Another officer added, "If it connects to Earth's grid, it might unlock weapons, AI networks, maybe even satellites." The president whispered, "So we've already lost the first layer of defense." Back on Titan, Ray and Malik looked at the frozen storm through the base window. The fake crew was still outside, still staring, still waiting. And underground, something was breathing. Slow. Loud. Growing. Bow quotes. "We don't have much time," Rayan said. Dr. Kale nodded. "We're not just in danger, Earth is in another chamber." Hannah and Raj finished decoding the new signal. It wasn't just one voice anymore, it was hundreds, thousands, all layered, all speaking in harmony. Some voices were clearly from the original Titan colonists, some were strangers. Raj's hands shook. These voices, they're not just copies, they're memories, as if the entity absorbed whole identities. Kale entered the room, listening. She recognized one voice, clearly. It was her mother, but her mother had died 20 years ago. On Earth, Kale backed away, shaking. They're not contacting Earth to attack, they're trying to merge. Meanwhile, deep inside Earth's defense network, the top AI war system Sentinel Core activated a hidden protocol. Project Assemble's status screen. Across the globe, 7 elite space fleets were launched, each with mixed crews. Scientists, soldiers, AI specialists, biologists, for the first time in human history. All countries joined under one banner. Earth had decided to fight, not each other, but together. Inside Fleet 1, Commander Lucan stood on the deck of the battlecruiser Eclipse Lance. He stared at the Titan mission file. His sister, Rayan Malik, was still down there. He pressed a button. Her last message played. We're holding the base. But we've seen things you won't believe. They wear our faces. They feel our fears, and they learn faster than we do. If you come ready to lose something. Lucan closed the file. Full speed to Saturn, he ordered. Back on Titan. The base trembled again. Dr. Kale walked into the main hall. The survivor, Dr. Elias Corrin, was standing. No fear on his face. He said softly, "It's awake now." Kale stared at him. "You said it was a prison. That Titan was a lock. What are we facing?" Elias smiled. "You keep calling it, but that's wrong. It's them." Rayan stepped forward. "Them?" Elias nodded. "They are not machines, not aliens, not spirits. They are failed versions of us. They were almost human. Long before Earth was even born." Suddenly the base alarm screamed. LYRAS. Voice echoed. "Incoming object detected, non-human origin. Inbound to Titan." Everyone rushed to the screen. A large shape was entering Titan's orbit, not Earth. Fleet. Not one of their drones. It was ancient, black, silent, covered in strange runes. Rog gasped. "That's not ours," Kale whispered. "It's one of theirs." The base lights flickered. The ground split near Site 2. Black liquid poured out like blood, and from it, a humanoid shape began to rise. It was tall, smooth, no mouth, no eyes, but it spoke directly into every crew member's mind. "We gave you warning, we gave you time, and now, you assemble." Rayan stood strong. "No, you're not part of us. You stole our people. You wear lies." The being tilted its head. "You call it lies, we call it memory." Kale asked, "What do you want?" "To exist without form. To become your story." As the Earth fleets neared Titan, another message was sent from the entity straight into Earth's global net. "Join, or forget." Within minutes, social systems started crashing. Voice assistants repeated strange phrases. Some people on Earth reported dreams of Titan, though they had never been there. Inside the lead ship, Commander Lucan gave his final speech. "We're not just going to rescue a team," he said. "We're going to protect what it means to be human. We may not understand this enemy, but we know what we are not. We are not them. Today, we don't fight alone." Final scene. Earth fleets arrive in orbit. Titan's surface glows, and deep underground, more hives begin to wake. The entity watches through every fake human standing in the snow, and it smiles because contact has begun. Titan was no longer quiet. The skies had changed. The ground had cracked. And under the ice, an ancient intelligence had woken up. Now, it was not attacking with weapons. It was attacking with memories. Inside Colony Site 1, Rayan Malik held her head. Her breathing was fast. Her hands were shaking. She had just seen her mother alive, standing in the hallway, but her mother had died on Earth years ago. The woman smiled at her, same voice, same eyes. But when Rayan touched her, she turned to dust. "It's not real," Rayan whispered. "It's not her." Dr. Kale entered the room. "It's happening to all of us. Visions, voices, memories." Dr. Rog nodded. "It's using our minds as a weapon." Outside, the Earth fleet had arrived in Titan's orbit. Commander Lucan stood on the bridge of Eclipse Lance, staring at the live feed from Colony Site 1. "Status of the team?" he asked. His officer replied, "Alive, but we're reading heavy neural distortion. Something's messing with their brains." Lucan clenched his fist. "This is no longer just a rescue. This is a mind war." Inside the base, Dr. Kale ran a test. She placed Hannah in a memory scanner and showed her a childhood picture. Hannah smiled. "That's me. My 5th birthday, I had blue cake." Dr. Kale nodded. "Now look again." The picture changed. Now Hannah saw herself alone. No cake, no family. She blinked. "Wait, is this the real one?" Kale said. "That's the problem. The entity isn't just showing fake memories. It's rewriting real ones." Raj added, "If we forget who we are, we become it." Then Lyra, the base AI, spoke. "Warning. Internal identity breach detected." "What does that mean?" Kale asked. Lyra paused. "Dr. Amelia Kale. 2 profiles now detected. 1 active, 1 emerging." Kale froze. "There's another me growing in the system." Suddenly, the lights cut. A cold fog filled the halls. The crew rushed to the lab where Kale's backup memory core was kept. It was glowing, humming. A voice echoed in the room. "We only copy the best." And there, standing near the memory device, was another Kale. Same face, same voice. She smiled. "We just want to remember you forever." Rayan raised her weapon. "Step away." The fake Kale tilted her head. "You shoot me, you destroy your friend's mind." Rog checked the scanner. It's merged. Part of Kale's real memory is inside her now. Kale's real self stepped forward. She looked the copy in the eyes. "I'm not a file. I'm not a story. I'm me." You'll never take that. She hit a button. The memory core wiped itself. The fake Kale screamed a high-pitched, terrible sound and burst into black. Ash dots in orbit. Lucan got the update. They're under psychic attack, he said. We have to move now. Fleet ships launched memory shields, tech created just for this moment. Waves of clean human data, songs, voices. Family photos began flooding the colony systems. To fight memory with truth, but the entity adapted. It sent back its own flood, visions of perfect lives, of lost loved ones returned, of second chances. One soldier collapsed. Crying, she said she forgave me. He whispered she came back, but she never had. Kale said, this is worse than war. This is emotional infection. Rayon made a new plan. We go into the core again, she said. But this time, not to destroy it, to talk to it. Rog said, talk. You think it will? Listen, Rayan replied. It wants to be us. So let's show it what that really means. Using neural links, Rayon and Kale entered the memory sphere. Inside, they found a strange world made of shifting images. Endless halls of memories, real and fake, floating side by side. Then it appeared, the entity, not as a monster, not as a god. As Rayan's mother, she said softly, you are made of pain. We can remove that. Let us rewrite you. Rayan's eyes filled with tears. I don't want my pain erased. I want it remembered, because it made me who I am. Kale stepped forward. You think copying us makes you human, but it's our choices, not our faces, that define us. The entity paused. It started to shift, thousands of voices speaking at once. Then teacher's choice. Kale looked at Rayan. Maybe it's not just a weapon, maybe it's a child. Back in the real world, alarms blared. New readings showed other colonies, Mars, Europa, Ganymede, were starting to detect strange signals. It was spreading fast. Lucan gave the order. Protect Earth at all costs. If the Titan team can't stop it, we burn the whole moon. Final scene. Inside the memory world, Rayan whispers, you want to be human? Then make a real choice. Let us go. The entity flickers. For the first time, it steps back and whispers, we will decide. Titan was no longer just a frozen moon. It had become a bridge between what was human and what could come next. The entity, born from thought and memory, had listened. It had watched. It had copied now. It had to choose, and so did the humans. Inside Colony Site 1, Rayon Malik sat in the neural chair, heart still racing. She had just returned from the mind link. She had spoken to the entity, not with words, but feelings. Beside her, Dr. Kale helped remove the helmet. Did it answer you? Rayan nodded slowly. It's thinking, but it's scared. It doesn't know if it wants to be human or end us. In orbit, Commander Lucan received the latest data. His second-in-command asked, do we fire the cryo missiles? Lucan hesitated. If we do, we end them too. My sister's still down there. He looked out the window at Titan's glowing surface. Then at the message still blinking on their console. We are deciding. Dr. Raj in the lab spoke quickly. The entity has connected to every digital system on Titan. It has all our history now. All our stories, Kale replied. Then, maybe that's what it needed. Hannah, watching the energy charts, suddenly gasped. The pulse has changed. The rhythm, it's steady, like a heartbeat. Rayon stared at the screen. It's forming its own identity. Suddenly, the base lights blinked. Lyra, the AI said, incoming final transmission from Titan entity. Message, visual. Everyone gathered around the screen. A face appeared, but not a copy of any crew. Not a human face. Something new, smooth, soft, bright eyes. Skin like starlight. It spoke in 1,000 voices, unified. We have learned. You hold pain, love, hate, memory. You forget. We do not. You die. We do not. But now we choose. Rayan leaned forward. Choose what? The being replied. To be more than mirror. To be self. To not overwrite. But remember. Then the screen blinked. A signal went out, not to Earth, but deep into Saturn's rings. Roger's hand shook. Where is it sending that? Kale checked. Not to a fleet, not to another base. It's calling something. The crew held their breath. Above Titan, the sky split open. From the storm clouds, a massive shape appeared. The ancient vessel. The one that had first arrived days ago. Now fully awakened. It opened like a flower of metal and light. And from inside, a voice. This was our final memory vault, now unlocked. Lucan, from orbit, shouted into comms. What is that? Rayon's voice answered, calm but shaken. It's where the first failed species went. Before humans, before Earth. Kale added. They weren't evil. They were trapped, alone, until now. Then something unexpected happened. The black veins across Titan began to melt. The fake humans outside the colony dropped to their knees and dissolved peacefully into the ground. The entity inside the base whispered one last message. We will not become you. We will become ourselves. And then, the core powered down. A new message blinked on Earth's network. Memory preserved. Identity restored. Signal ended. Every system went silent. Titan was calm. No more pulses. No more faces. Just ice and peace. Rayan stepped outside into the wind. No copies. No noise. Only silence. Kale joined her. It chose its own path. She said, not war. Not mimicry. Rayan nodded. It chose to exist without replacing us. In orbit, Lucan gave a quiet order. Stand down, no fire. Titan is no longer a threat. His officer asked, what is it then? Lucan smiled faintly. Something that listened. Final scene. Weeks later, Titan was marked as secure memory zone. No one would live there again, but every year, one drone would land and play a message. Here lived something that wanted to be human, and chose not to steal but to remember. Space was quiet again. Titan was no longer glowing. No more black veins. No more false faces. The storm clouds above its surface moved slowly now, like they were tired to. Earth declared the moon quarantined. No, one would go back. But what happened there would change everything. In the days after the Titan event, news spread across every planet, every station, every mining rock and orbital city. The entity on Titan did not invade. It listened. It chose peace. It chose to remember, instead of copy. Humanity didn't know how to respond. Some were afraid, some celebrated, some didn't believe it. But those who had been there, Ray and Malik, Dr. Kale, Raj, Hannah, and others, they knew the truth. They had seen the impossible, and survived it. Returned to Earth 2 weeks later, her boots touched ground in New Africa's landing field, where thousands of people stood watching. She didn't speak right. Away she looked older, tired, not in body but in soul. Dr. Kale walked beside her. When a reporter asked, what did you see on Titan? Rayan replied simply, a being that didn't want to kill us. It wanted to be remembered. A global conference was called, the first in decades. Leaders from the inner colonies, Martian Republic, lunar states, and even rogue outposts joined. For once, not to argue about politics, but to ask, what else is listening? In one dark hall of Soul Research Institute, Dr. Raj stared at the final copy of Titan's neural code. The entity had left one last message. Not a warning, not a threat, just one line. You are not the only ones who dream. Raj whispered to himself, what does that mean? He didn't know, but deep in his heart, he felt the galaxy had just opened a door, and humanity was now walking through it. Meanwhile, Commander Lucan, hero of the fleet, returned to Lunar Base. He refused all medals. He only asked one thing, build a monument, not for the soldiers, not for the scientists, but for the choice that saved us. He personally helped design it, a tall, simple black pillar, on it just 2 words. We remember. Hannah stayed behind on Titan's orbit for 1 more week. She monitored all signals. No more pulses. No more interference, only one soft tone like a hum coming from deep underground. She didn't tell anyone. She simply smiled and whispered, you're still there, aren't you? Then she closed her tablet and left. Months passed, then years. New missions launched to distant systems, far beyond Saturn. But something had changed in every human explorer now. They listened more. They scanned deeper. They no longer assumed that silence meant safety, or that noise meant war. A child was born on Mars. His mother had been on the Titan mission. She named him Elias after the survivor who helped them understand the truth. She told him stories before bedtime, but not of monsters or heroes. She told him of memory, that one day we met something that remembered us so deeply. It wanted to become us and then chose not to. Dr. Kale wrote a book titled The Mirror that refused to copy. It became required reading in schools. In one interview, someone asked her, do you think we'll ever meet them again? She paused, then said, they are still with us, not in flesh but in the way we think, in how we choose to treat what we don't understand. On Earth, across oceans and deserts, art changed. Singers began using layered voices to mimic the Titan choir. Painters created strange shapes, soft, glowing, half-human forms. One sculpture became famous. It showed a woman touching her own reflection, but the reflection was smiling differently. Not the same. Not evil, just other dots in a hidden station near Neptune. Deep space probes caught a whisper. It wasn't loud, it wasn't clear, but it carried the same signal pattern as Titan's last message. Memory seeks company. Rog, now old, sat quietly with that data. Didn't alert the military, he didn't panic, he just nodded, closed his eyes and said, "We're not alone. We never were. Now we finally understand." Ray and Malik never returned to space. She taught history in a quiet school in New Alaska. Children asked her once, "Did you shoot aliens?" She laughed softly and said, "No, I spoke to one, and it didn't want war. It wanted meaning." The children didn't fully understand, but they listened because they could feel it. In her voice, this story wasn't just about survival, it was about becoming something better. Final scene. A drone lands silently on Titan just like it does. Every year that it plays one recording into the ice, to the minds beneath, to the memory that chose peace. We still remember, we still choose. Then it lifts off, and beneath the surface, something hums back. Not in words, not in signals, just a feeling they heard us, they always did.